All right. Give it a couple of minutes for people to join us up. Let me share this in the in our Discord with our faithful subs. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another Sunday. Welcome to week 8. Just gonna let the Discord folks know. Let's see. There we go. Or I might have shared the wrong link. That's okay. That's all right. And I definitely just shared the wrong link. Definitely just shared the wrong link. Whoops. Okay. I think we're squared away now. Yep. Okay, cool. I think we are. I think we're squared away. Yeah, the stream was accidentally private for a second. It's public now. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to week 8. John will hopefully be joining us soon or short. He's working on some. We're working through some tech issues with our regular streaming software, our regular streaming device. In the meantime, I can do this directly from YouTube, and I got you till then. So we will appreciate everybody's patience as we work through whatever streaming issues are going on. Hoping to have John here somewhat soon. But in the meantime, I got you till then. Taking questions for start, sit, help, any other potential general topics we can talk through as well. But start, sit, help, and questions will, of course, be prioritized today because it's Football Sunday. And there is a game going on right now between the Broncos and the Jaguars, so I understand there's probably a lot of people watching that. But also, you need ESPN Plus to watch this game. So, maybe if you're running thin on your streaming services a little bit, like I am, you might just kind of be following this one along on the internet. But football is football, right? At least it's a game. I sat Jerry Jeudy today amidst some trade concerns in favor of Brian Robinson. I don't know how to feel about it. Judy's got 1 6-yard catch. Looks like we're coming to the end of the first quarter here. In London, Jacksonville is up 7-0. I actually don't know how they scored. I should probably get this box score up for the Broncos and the Jags. Senor Rojo, what's going on? Thanks for coming in. Good to see you. Between A-Rob and Woods, it's tough to trust either one of them, right? Neither one has been very consistent. I guess I'll go Robinson just because Tannehill's out. That could mean it could be good for Robert Woods, but Malik Willis is making his first career start. Right? So I guess I'll go Robinson. I know, and Van Jefferson is back. Van Jefferson is back for the Rams, so he's going to take a target or two away, potentially from Allen Robinson. But at least he has his quarterback. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing because Matthew Stafford, he hasn't been very good this year. Man, Man, what is going on with ESPN? It is moving very slowly on the internet right now. See if I can get a little sneak peek into what's going on this. Oh, Evan Ingram caught the touchdown. Wow. How do you like that? Because of course he did. Because of course he did. Unbelievable. Friggin' Evan Ingram, man. Are you kidding me? But all right, we're at the end of the first. Russ is 2 for 4 for 19 yards and an interception. Business as usual for Russell Wilson. Melvin Gordon's got 6 yards on 2 carries. Murray's got a 13-yard catch. Trevor Lawrence is 8 of 9 for 59 yards and a touchdown. Good start for Lawrence. ETN, 5 carries, 24 yards, and Ingram has a 22-yard touchdown catch. ETN's also got 2 catches already. You love to see it. Wheels up on ETN RB1 season for the rest of the year. Anyway, going back, Senior Row, I see you also have Van. I wouldn't play Van in his first game back. Let's see how he does first. I would probably play. I would pinch my nose, Senior Rojo, and just play Allen Robinson and hope for the best. I don't feel great about it, but if it's between him, Van, who again first game back from injury, and Robert Woods, who is down his quarterback, I'll go Robinson. Oh, Aquas, what's going on? Myers or Wandale in full PPR? I'm tempted to say Myers. Let's take a look at what's been going on with them with them recently. Myers against the Jets might see Sauce Gardner, who is now officially already in his very young NFL career is already a corner where you have to worry about. Myers has been pretty steady. Wandale, obviously, full-time wheels up on him. Kadarius Toney officially out of the picture. Wandale had 8 targets last week, 6 carries, 50 yards, or 6 catches, 50 yards. Daniel Jones is playing pretty well. It's actually not a great matchup by the numbers, although I don't think there's anything overly scary about the Seahawks defense. I would say Myers is a floor play with some downside, but he's relatively safe, and the Patriots should be throwing in the second half of this game. Well, maybe I shouldn't say should, but if you expect the Jets, who are the better team than the Patriots right now, to be winning this game, then Patriots might be throwing it a little bit more. And I do think I feel a little better about Myers with Mac Jones in there over Bailey Zappi. Although Zappi had looked good in his couple of starts. Myers, boring floor play that probably gets it done for you. Wandale might have a little bit more upside in that game up in Seattle, where Seattle's playing well on offense. The Giants are playing well on offense too. It's just that Myers, I guess, Myers has a little bit more of a track record right now to go off of. So I guess I'll go Myers, but Wandale has some upside if you think you might be a little desperate. But if you think you might need some upside, right? If you're like, I might be an underdog today. If I have a floor play of 8 points, that might not be good enough. Like if 8 to 10 PPR points isn't good enough, then maybe go Wandale. But otherwise, Myers should be fine as a floor play and probably who I ultimately lean. Again, unless I'm like staring at it like I am a 15, 20-point underdog. Then I might fire up Wandale. But thanks for the question, Olaquas. No problem. Avery Chapman, what's going on? Mark, good to see you. Again, for those who are just joining us, we're having some tech issues with our regular equipment. John is working on that at the moment, hoping to get all of our stuff back up and running, in which case we will We will close this down and jump over to the stream that John sets up. I'll drop a link in here if and when we get to that point. So again, John's working through some streaming issues with us, so I got you on the bootleg YouTube setup for now. So anyway, let's get to these other questions. I'm going to stay on top of this as much as possible. Because if y'all have been here before, you know this chat can fill up quickly with questions, even though there is a game going on right now. So maybe not as much. Anyway, Avery, you have a start to full PPR decision to make between Najee, Foreman, and McLaurin. The last two? I can't believe we're here with Najee Harris. I guess I'll say the similar thing, Avery, that I said about Alaquis's decision between Myers and Wandale. Najee should be able to get you a boring low-end RB2 play if you think you can get away with that. 10, 11, maybe 12 or 13 points in full PPR, right? Maybe he catches an extra pass or two against the Eagles today. But Najee is a boring RB2 play this year. I almost said this week, this year. He's a boring RB2 play with not that much upside. If you think you can get away with that in this matchup today, then sure, go Najee. But otherwise, Foreman has the backfield to himself. Raheem Blackshear is expected to mix in a little bit more today, but he's is he undrafted? He's unproven, let's put it that way. Foreman's got the backfield to himself and looked pretty good last week. And McLaurin had a nice week with Taylor Heineke last week. And there's not really all that much that's scary about the Colts defense. Taylor Heineke is going to continue to hyper target Terry, right? I think Terry McLaurin is actually a somewhat safer play with Taylor Heineke in there over Carson Wentz. I think it's good for Terry McLaurin, I think. So I think, Avery, I go with those last two. I can't believe we're here with Najee Harris, but unless you are looking at your situation and you're like, I can get away with with 10 points from one of my running backs. If it's that situation, great. Play Najee. If it's not, if it's anything else, if you're like, I'm expecting this to be a close game or I'm a slight favorite or I'm an underdog, I would go with the last two, Foreman and McLaurin. Najee is in full PPR, I guess he's got 15-point upside, but damn, it's pulling teeth for him this year. That offensive line is still bad, and the offense in general is not good. Yeah, I would fire up the last two. You're a Steelers fan. I don't think it's a Najee problem necessarily. Well, it's twofold. Najee got 400 touches last year, right? When you have big workloads, even young running backs, 21, 22. Well, Najee, I think, is 23. Or no, I think he's already 24. Either way, he's still young. When you get, running backs with huge workloads the following year, it's just hard. It's hard to replicate those numbers. And the Steelers still haven't figured out their offensive line. And they're going through some growing pains right now at the quarterback position. So Najee's taking a hit as a result. Yeah. Mark, we have to sit one of this group. St. Brown, Higgins, Pittman, Waddle, Dalvin Cook, Dameon Pierce, or Chubb. Holy hell. Well, Pittman, with Ellinger in there, who is an unknown. I get maybe you do you do that? Do you just sit Pittman? You have a bunch of guys who are super reliable and well, Amon-Ra is on the injury report, but he's expected to play. That's right, from the concussion. Was cleared to play, but why is he still on the injury report? If he was cleared to play, why is he still questionable? I think I still fire up Amon-Ra as long as the questionable tag gets removed from Amon-Ra, in time for kickoff. I might as well just with all of those guys that you have, I'll just sit Pittman for a week and see how he does with Ellinger in there. Higgins, you're firing up without Chase. Amon-Ra in what could be a shootout at home, you're firing up. Same conversation for Waddle. They play each other in the same game. Dalvin Cook, RB1 at home. Dameon Pierce, Nick Chubb's top three. Dameon Pierce is in your lineup every week. I'll sit Pittman, Mark, with Ellinger, getting his first start today. Let's see how Ellinger does. I ruffled a lot of feathers with that Sam Ellinger video I put out, by the way. There were a lot of people who were not happy with my assessment of the Colts offense with Ellinger in there. But if you're offended by just an opinion, that's your problem, not mine. But anyway, I'll downgrade the Colts offense today until we see. Obviously, you're firing up Jonathan Taylor, but and in most scenarios, you're firing up Michael Pittman. But Mark, in your scenario, when you have so many studs to lean on, you can afford to take a wait and see approach with Pittman. Chris Flores, what's going on? Pick 2, Swift, Sanders, or Eno. I'll go the first 2. Eno's in a great spot today. Eno, no James Conner once again. And I know DeAndre Swift. We haven't heard a peep out of DeAndre Swift for about a month now. But you drafted him high, right? You drafted him in the probably around the 1-2 turn, probably high second round, right? That's probably where you drafted him, which means when he's healthy, you expect to lean on a guy like that. And Swift hasn't given us any reason from an on-field perspective not to sit him. Could be a shootout in Detroit today. They're at home. The Lions play better in their dome at home, especially Jared Goff, keeping the offense moving, keeping the offense on the field. I think that benefits Swift. Swift in his own right is obviously a big-time talent. Hasn't been able to stay healthy consistently, but he's a big-time talent. I would fire up Swift. And Miles Sanders is through. He's probably not an RB1 by the numbers anymore because the Eagles were just on a bye week. But going into week 7, Chris, going into last week, Miles Sanders was the RB12 on the season. He was a bona fide RB1. I think you go back to that well. The Eagles run the ball better than anybody in the NFL. I would roll with them at home, well rested, coming off their bye week. Steelers are coming in not playing super well. They're 2-5. They're struggling. They're decimated by injuries right now. The Steelers are. I like Eno. Eno's in a good, Eno has the backfield to himself, but on the road in Minnesota is a little bit of a tougher spot for him. And if you go look at the numbers, if you are so inclined, Chris, look at the weekly numbers. Eno plays better at home than on the road, and today he's on the road. So I'll go Swift and Miles Sanders. I'll roll the dice on Swift in his first game back, but he is at home. Nothing scary about the matchup. He should be fine. Let's see. Not too many questions at the moment. That's okay. Again, there is a game going on right now. And one more time, John is currently working through some tech issues for us. Our streaming device is currently it's currently throwing some issues. Trevor Lawrence threw an interception in the red zone. Whoops. Not very good. Not very good, Trevor. And so far, there's nothing to speak of for the Broncos offense. See what we got going on here. How did they? Somehow they already got the ball back. The Jaguars did. Travis Etienne just ripped off a 49-yard run. Holy shit. He's awesome, man. Travis Etienne, he can be, I mean, obviously, always send us your start-sit questions if you're between options, but like, truthfully, guys and gals, Travis Etienne can be removed from start-sit questions. Like, he just needs to be in your lineup. He just needs to be in your lineup. 9 carries for 85 yards already. I think he's got at least 2 catches. At least 2 catches, I think, for like 12 yards. Yeah, 2 catches for 12 yards. So he's already approaching 100 yards from scrimmage. We're 5 minutes into the second quarter. Holy hell. Travis Etienne needs to be in every lineup for the rest of the season. just ripping off 40+ yard runs. No sweat. 100 yards from scrimmage, essentially, with 10 minutes to go in the first half. Man, Travis Etienne. Wheels up. I think I had a situation where I don't have this is not a 10-team league. This is a 12-team league with coworkers. So it's a little bit more casual. This is not like a super serious league, but I did have to bench ETN today because I have Saquon. I've got Tony Pollard without Zeke, and I've got Kenneth Walker. I did. This is the only league where I drafted well at the running back position. So this scenario, I had to sit. I felt like I'll sit ETN. This was also, again, lower stakes. But the point is, if you have Travis Etienne, he's got to be in lineups every single week moving forward. Sideline Star, what's going on? Good morning. And yes, of course, good luck to everybody's, in their matchups today. What's everybody's situation? Is anybody, if you're 6-0 or 6-1 or where are we at? 6-1, spectacular. If you're 5-2, pat yourself on the back. Is there anybody who's 2-5 or you're scratching and clawing? What's your situations? Let us know. We can talk through it. If you would like to. Eric's got a start sit question here. Start Myers, DK, or Brian Robinson. Eric, I think you have to fire up DK Metcalf. Adam Schefter reported, was it like yesterday evening, that he's expected to return today against the Giants. He's probably he's going to be less than 100%. The concern, I guess, is with DK. Is it a Rashad Bateman situation where he re-aggravates an injury coming back too quickly? I don't like operating that way. If I have a stud who is healthy or if I have a stud who is active, 10 times out of 10, I put that guy in my lineup. I put that player in my lineup and I hope for the best. The concern, I guess, with DK, again, is it like on Thursday night where Rashad Bateman gave it a go, was active for the game, re-aggravated the injury, didn't have a catch, right? That's the fear. So I guess, Eric, it depends on your situation. Are you a big underdog? Then maybe just roll the dice on DK. Or is it an even matchup? Do you feel like if your flex play is like, if I get 10 points, I should be fine? Then maybe you just roll with Brian Robinson, who is healthy and who has a role. 6-1, even matchup. So obviously you want to win every game, right? You want to win every match. You want to get the number 1 seed. You want to cruise into the playoffs, right? We all do. Everybody wants to be. You want to win. You're 6-1. You don't want to go to 6-2. That being said, it's not going to hurt you. If anything happens today, if you slip up in the matchup, you're 6-2. What are you at worst? Second or third in your league? I'm bringing all this up because you're playing with some fire potentially with DK Metcalf. I would say you can afford to play it safe. So I would probably play Brian Robinson. It doesn't feel great, but he's a floor play that should be able to get you 10 points, and maybe he falls into the end zone. DK, if there's no question here, right? If he's not on the injury report, it's DK Metcalf. He was originally reported. This is the concern with DK. It's not like his injury when he picked up an injury last week. It's not like it was like, 2-week absence and DK's back sooner than later. They were saying it's a multi-week absence for DK. Everybody was like, he might miss 3 weeks. He might miss 4 weeks. But now it's like he's not going to miss any games. So yes, you got to be optimistic. You feel good about it's like, DK's ready. He's ready to go. He's not gonna miss any time. Like, let's go. DK Metcalf, stud, beast, way to come back and beat the odds and literally the very next week. But the fact that they were originally calling it a potential multi-week absence gives me some pause today. So if you were desperate, Eric, if you were like, I'm 2-5, I need to keep my season alive. If I get 8 points from Brian Robinson, that's not going to be enough. Like if I take a 0 from DK, so be it, but he's my ceiling play. If that was your situation, then sure, go with DK. Because you're 6-1, you're cruising, you're in good shape. You're 6-1, so you probably have some really good guys in your lineup to lean on. Let's play the floor play in Brian Robinson, play it safe, try to get 10 points. See if we can sneak out a win and go to 7-1. Myers, I think, of these options is the diciest because Sauce Gardner is already, in his very, very young NFL career, is already a dude to worry about for opposing wide receivers, especially ones who are not in prolific passing offenses like Myers with the Patriots. Sauce Gardner is a problem. Holy hell, that kid is good. He's good. So yeah, I'll go Brian Robinson because, Eric, you're in a situation where you don't need to play with fire with DK today. If you want to play him, I understand. He's your horse. Given your situation, I think I would fire up the safe play. What's happening with the Broncos now? Rojo, what are we doing? Russ still stinks. Man, 3 for 6 for 32 yards. It's just like, ugh. They are not. Oh my God, they are so bad. They are better. Are they better? Are the Broncos better with Brett Ripien in there? I think the Broncos are better in there with Brett Ripien in there. Like, do you bench Russell Wilson if he continues to stink up the joint this game for Brett Ripien after what you gave up to acquire Russell Wilson? If I'm the Broncos and I'm desperately trying to like show that if I'm Nathaniel Hackett, if I'm the Broncos brass, it's like we might have fucked up. Let's just put Ripien in there. I don't know. I don't know if I could go back to. I don't know if I could keep going back to the well with Russ. Judy just caught another pass. There you go. 13 yards for Cortland Sutton, followed by an 8-yard catch by Jerry Jeudy. Defensive player got banged up for Jacksonville. Looks like he's going to be okay. Yeah, let's see. Now they got a little bit of a drive going on right now, I guess. Let's see what they can do with it. Izzy, what's going on, Izzy? Full PPR. Rondale Moore, Van Jefferson, Terry McLaurin. You're firing up Terry McLaurin, Izzy. Go with the guy. It's a talent. It's a tier break for me from a talent perspective with Terry, and Terry sprung back to life a little bit with Taylor Heineke in there. I think I feel better about McLaurin when it's Taylor Heineke and not Carson Wentz playing quarterback. So Terry, Van Jefferson first game back. Let's give him a week. And let's see if, this Rams offense is still one. I mean, talking about the Broncos and difficult offenses to trust. Outside of Cooper Kupp, this Rams offense is difficult to trust. So I'll say go, and then with Rondale might get 8 catches for 50 yards. So he might do that. But Terry's, again, it's just a talent level tier break. And again, I feel better. I feel if this was Carson Wentz and Terry McLaurin was still kind of derping along, then we might have a real conversation here about him and Rondale. But because Taylor Heineke's in there, I actually feel better about Terry McLaurin. Roman, what's going on? I agree with you. I also don't trust Waller, and I am firing up Hayden Hurst. I am in a very similar situation. I mean, Freiermuth should probably be fine. Pickett seems to get him involved. Hayden Hurst is enticing without Jamar Chase. And the Browns are giving up. They're giving up points to everybody. Every game this year. Here's the Browns, just for fun, Roman, and anybody else who's like Browns defense for any reason. 24 points allowed, 31 points allowed, 17, 23. The 17 was against Pittsburgh with Mitchell Trubisky, who, and they still got 17. 23, 30, 38, 23 last week to a Ravens offense that where Mark Andrews didn't even catch a pass. This Browns defense stinks. This Browns defense stinks. I like Hayden Hurst, Roman. It's Jamar Chase is out. The Browns can't stop anybody. Freiermuth should be fine and is probably a safe floor play, but I like Hayden Hurst. I do on Monday night, and he got removed from the injury report, so there's no concerns about him waiting until Monday night. If Hurst was still on the injury report, then I would say play Freiermuth, because if Hurst is ruled out on a Monday night, then you're screwed, right? But he was removed from the injury report yesterday. I think I feel fine with Hurst, firing up Hurst. No Jamar Chase against an awful Browns defense. They're giving up so many points. I'll roll the dice on Hayden Hurst. To be fair, I think John would suggest Freiermuth, and I don't want to speak for John. I don't know if John's in here or if he's trying to work, or I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I know he likes Freiermuth. I know he's somebody that might vouch for Freiermuth just because he has been involved. He's been a tight end one for stretches this year. And this is a game where Pittsburgh should have to throw a lot. So that's the argument for Freiermuth. I think I personally like Hurst. No Jamar Chase, bad Browns defense. How many redraft leagues am I in? I actually think I killed a couple that like this. I dropped out of a couple this year, and I'm still in. I mean, ones that I take seriously, redraft, I'm in 3. I'm in 3 redraft leagues that I take seriously. We have we also have our members league, which is a lot of fun. That there's no money at stake there, just fun bragging rights with our wonderful members of this channel. That is one of the perks. I guess I'll shout this out now in case anybody's interested. If you guys like what you see from this channel, if you're not a member but might be interested, one of the perks of a membership with us is that you get to play in fantasy leagues with us. So if anybody's interested in that, obviously this season is well underway, but for next year, if you might have any interest, we play members leagues. The buy-in is, of course, your membership is your support of the channel, and then the winner, we're John and I are going to go in and get a jersey. The winner gets a jersey, any kind, whoever they want. Depending on the name and how authentic it is, we might need to look into that. But if you win the Facemask Fantasy Members League, you get a jersey of your choice. It could be somebody on the team you drafted. It could be your favorite player. It could be not a football. It could be not an NFL player. If you're just like, I want a soccer jersey or a basketball jersey or a baseball, you could, whatever. You call the shots if you win the league. So just a fun little thing. That's my 4th league that I enjoy. We also do a zombie league. That's an 8-man zombie members league. That one's pretty fun as well. I kind of want to be the zombie, although it's tough to win games as the zombie. So 3 redraft leagues with the members league, so 4 in total, and then I have a couple of dynasty leagues. I honestly feel like I need more dynasty leagues. I'm in 2 of them. No, I'm in 3 of them. So I'm in 6 leagues total. 7 leagues total. I don't have a problem, and that doesn't even count all the best balls that I'm in. So I got a lot going on. The Modern Dog, what's going on? What are some defenses I like this week? You're naming, you named 2 of them right there. I think the Jets are solid against the Patriots. There's nothing scary about the Patriots offense. Jets are playing well. They're at home. I do like Washington as well. I don't mind the idea of rolling the dice against Sam Ehlinger in his first start against that underperforming Colts offensive line. But the difference is Washington is on the road. That's the difference for me here. If you don't care about that, then fine. Washington is fine to fire up, but I think I would go with the Jets. The Patriots are an offense worth targeting. They're not very good right now. They had to come out just earlier this week and, declare Mac Jones the starter just because he got 90% of the snaps. In one Tuesday practice. They had to force that. I don't know. I think I would play the Jets. I would roll the dice on the Jets. The Jets are motivated, right? Everybody keeps talking about this week. Oh, we're getting hit with bots. We're getting hit with bots. Come on. There we go. There we go. Get these clowns out of here. I would go with the Jets. There's been a narrative all this week, Modern Dog, about the Patriots have beaten the Jets like how many times in a row? Well, now the Patriots stink and the Jets look pretty good. So the Jets want to come in and kind of smack the Patriots around if they get their chance. I think I roll with a motivated Jets squad who is playing well right now. Washington's got 2 wins in a row, so credit to them. But on the road, I feel a little less certain about them. Although it is, again, if you like the idea of targeting a quarterback in his first career start, there's plenty of intrigue for Washington. Both are viable. Ultimately, if I had to make a call, I would probably go with the Jets. But both should be good. I think both should be fine. Do I want any part of the Broncos backfield? Not really. Sideline star, not really. Oh, God damn it. Jerry Jeudy just caught a touchdown and I benched him. Oops. Great. Awesome. I love when I overthink my situation. All right. Well, if you have Jerry Jeudy, congratulations. He caught a touchdown. He's up to 4 catches for 45 yards and that score. I had him in the lineup all week and I pulled him out because I was like, well, trade rumors, trade concerns. And then, now he fires. Right on cue. Right on cue. But no, I don't really want any part of the Broncos backfield sideline. Melvin Gordon looks shot. Latavius Murray is very, can I trust Latavius Murray on a week-to-week basis? Like 5 for 24 for Gordon is actually not bad. 4.8 yards per carry. It's not bad, and he has a 2-yard catch, so he's getting involved. It's been so bad. I don't know if I want any part of that backfield. They're tough to trust right now. Like Gordon hopefully he gets if he can fall into the end zone and get 50 yards, then he gives you a flex play, but that hasn't happened for a few weeks. Anyway, Lucky Bird Light, what's going on? D-Hop or AJ Brown? Damn. Take your pick. AJ in the much better matchup at home against a bad Steelers secondary. I guess AJ, if you have to make a call, if you can't play both, I guess AJ Brown. Eagles are rested. Eagles are at home. Eagles are playing, again, a banged-up Pittsburgh team, a banged-up Pittsburgh defense, and a secondary that is giving up top 3 production, like in all passing categories. I'll go A.J. Brown. Mixon or Chubb, man, you must have some really strong options. I got to go Chubb. I love Joe Mixon, but Chubb is a top 3 running back so far. I can't sit, if you have to sit one of them, I can't sit Nick Chubb right now. He's on fire. This Jerry Jeudy touchdown is going to make me tilt for the rest of the morning. It is what it is. That's okay. This is why we play the game, right? There's still lots of football left. What's going on, Nemo? I might just join you in FFA. But I'm gonna deny the entire time that I have a problem. So John, what's up, John? Campbell or Renfro? Ugh. Who else is out there? I don't know if I trust Campbell. I don't know if I trust Campbell in Ellinger's first start, and Renfro. I don't trust Renfro right now. Renfro's done very little. He came back last week, 3 catches, 55 yards. I guess if these are your best options, I would go Renfro because Waller is still on the injury report, but I don't feel good about Hunter Renfro. I don't feel good about Renfro. But I don't think I can fire up Campbell in Ellinger's first start. Is there anybody are there a few names on the wire, John, that you can throw out there? Let me know. As far as your running back situation, I don't love sitting Michael Carter, but among these options, I'm going to sit Michael Carter. I can't sit Stevenson. He's an RB1 on the season so far. And Dameon Pierce looks spectacular and might get 20, 25 touches today. Nico Collins is out. Brandon Cooks is the subject of trade rumors. Pierce might get all the work. I like Carter. I think Carter's in a good spot today to deliver, but I don't know that Carter. I can't play Carter over those other two guys. So you're playing Stevenson, you're playing Pierce. Brett, thoughts on starting Thielen over Deontay Johnson? That's fine. You can. I know Deontay hasn't fired the past few weeks. Thielen's at home. He's a guy who can. He's their touchdown guy. He's their red zone guy. Nothing scary about the matchup. It could be a bit of a shootout in Minnesota today. I think that's fine. I love Deontay, but it's hard to trust the Steelers right now. It's hard to trust any Steeler that's not named George Pickens. But I mean, the past 4 weeks for Deontay, he's getting the targets. 10 targets, 7 targets, 13 targets. Week 4, he only got 4 targets, so that's not great. But the past 3 weeks, 10 targets, he only caught 5 for 42, 7 targets, 5 for 28, 13 targets, 5 for 60. I mean, the low end floor play is there for Deontay. And he's probably going to he's going to have a similar stat line today. The Steelers are going to have to throw a lot, most likely, against the Eagles. So 10 targets again for Deontay Johnson, not out of the realm of possibility. Can he get 50 yards with it? That's been the question. That's been the issue. I would say Deontay is a low upside floor play, Brett, and Thielen's got a little bit more upside. Both should be fine. I think Thielen's got a little bit more upside. So if you want to start Thielen, that's fine. That's fine. I will just say Deontay, 10, 7, 13 targets the past 3 weeks. He's still involved. It's just it hasn't translated to actual production. So that's why we're here with Deontay. It's a tough Steelers offense to trust right now. And that Eagles defense is good. Deontay's either going to see Darius Slay or James Bradbury all day. That's a tough go of it. Eric, Terry or Pittman full PPR? That's tough. I guess I would, again, I'll default to Terry just because, when you have two guys who have high-end wide receiver 2 upside, Pittman regularly has low-end wide receiver 1 upside. But with Ellinger making his first start, I'm fine defaulting to your other option. So I guess I'll say Terry. I don't know if I feel great about it, but I'll go Terry. I'll go Terry. Sorry, give me a second. Yeah, I'll go Terry, Eric. All right. Got some questions. Let's get to this. Nemo got a kicker question. Fairbairn, Maher, Zerline, or Joseph? Oof. All right, we got to do a little bit. We got to do a little bit of homework. Fairbairn's actually been pretty solid. 10 points, 11 points. He has no fewer than 7 points, fantasy points in every game this year. Fairbairn's been very solid, and he's at home. What are his home splits this year? 10, 7, and that's it. Houston's played 4 road games this year. They got a lot of home games coming up. 10 points and 7 points. Fairbairn would be a perfectly fine option. I'm intrigued by Maher. 12, 12, 15, 11. He's had some quiet weeks the past couple of weeks. The Philly game, I don't hold against him. The Detroit game, the Cowboys just didn't need to score all that much. It could be a similar situation with the Bears. Although the Bears played pretty well on Monday night against the Patriots. That being said, the Cowboys held the Lions offense, who you feel better about than the Bears offense, to 6 points at home. So again, Maher wasn't really needed. Last week. So Maher may be a little bit more volatile than I originally thought, Nemo. Zorline, where is he these days? Oh, that's right. He's the Jets kicker, right? That might be a solid play. And then as far as Greg Joseph, I feel like he's burned us a couple times this year. He has. Greg Joseph has 2 big weeks. Week 1 against Green Bay, week 4 against New Orleans, both in awesome matchups, in top 10 matchups. Every other week, he has disappointed, including in multiple games at home. I think we got to Nemo. Of course, this is probably the week Greg Joseph blasts a couple 50-yarders. I think I'm sitting Greg Joseph. I'm sitting Maher. It's between Fairbairn and just based on the recent track record, it's between Fairbairn and Zerline. Are there any conditions to worry about in MetLife? That's where the game is, I believe. They're at home. Yeah. Are there any conditions to worry about in MetLife? Wind speed, 4 miles an hour. So no. Zorline, I feel like, has a lower floor, but a potentially, him and Fairbairn have, I would say, similar ceilings, but he might have a lower floor. I'll say Fairbairn is a bit more of a floor play kicker, Nemo, and Zerline has a bit more upside. Never thought I would do an upside versus floor for kickers, but here we are. If Jerry Jeudy explodes on my bench, I'm going to be very sad. But he's already well on his way. All right, what else? Nemo went back and forth on Gus or Duvernay. Ugh. Damn it. I would have done the same thing, Nemo. I would have done the same thing. Obviously, hindsight is 2020. It's easy to look at Duvernay's situation last week and be like, well, Mark Andrews and Rashad Bateman are coming into the game banged up, but they were both removed from the injury report. It was impossible to trust Duvernay going in, despite the fact that both of them ultimately ended up exiting the game. I would have also played Gus. I mean, Gus had some decent production. He had 65 rushing yards, but then he got hurt, right? So he probably was on his way to a fine performance. He just got hurt. What are you going to do? If it helps, Nemo, I sat Jerry Jeudy this morning because I was worried about trade rumors like an idiot. So it happens. Lucky Bird, you're welcome. No problem. Renfro, Gallup, or trust Van today? I would probably go back to the well with Gallup for one more week. At home, no Zeke, right? No Ezekiel Elliott for the Cowboys. Does that translate into maybe a couple more pass attempts? I don't think Gallup gets blanked again. And with Dak back, another week with Dak, another week for Gallup removed from the injury. I think I would roll the dice on Gallup. Van is hard to trust in his first game back. First game back is like hit or miss. I don't know if I want to play that game. And Renfro, I know Waller's on the injury report, but he might play. Devontae Adams, of course, is still there, hogging plenty of targets. Josh Jacobs is getting all the work the Raiders can give to him, and deservedly so. I don't trust Renfro right now, and he hasn't given me a reason to. 3 catches for 55 yards last week. That's not bad. That's pretty good. That's decent production, but for fantasy purposes, that is as low of a flex play as you can potentially hope for. I'll swing a little higher and roll the dice on Gallup. I'll go Gallup. Just a quick update. John is still working through tech issues. I think he's having some issues with it. So, still diligently working through it. Hopefully we can get the normal stream set up and back up and running before the slate starts. But TBD on if we'll be able to do that. John will probably he'll keep us informed. He might let the Discord know as well. Yeah, apologies. But we're still trucking along. If you're not a member of the Discord and you would like to be, great community we got going on over there. It's the third link in the description of this video. Evergreen invite. You do not have to be a member to join, although the members do get a little bit more regular access to us than the general public. But we're in those general public channels as well, helping out where we can. Great group of people. Sean P's at the Saints facility, Rojo. I mean, no offense, but why would he? Why would he? The Saints are in, like, they need to hit the reset button. Does Sean Payton want to go through a rebuild? Because that's probably what the Saints are staring down. I know they don't have their first round pick this year, but does Sean P want to? Does he want to do that? I mean, I know Taysom Hill is still there, and I know he loves Taysom Hill, but I don't know. Michael Thomas on the shelf, Jarvis Landry on the shelf. I mean, they need a quarterback. I guess if Sean Payton can find a quarterback, then, giddy up. Maybe it's not rebuild, but it's a retool situation. Maybe it's a pep talk. I don't know. But they could certainly use it. Yeah. Hi, my name's Nick. I'm in way too many leagues. I spend way too much money on best ball every off season. I think I'm perfectly fine. And I agree, Nemo. I'm firing up Irv Smith in multiple spots today. Hawkinson, if you have Hawkinson, you're probably playing him. But Irv Smith is in the Cardinals have never been able to they, as far as I can remember, the Cardinals seem to always stink against tight ends. And they stink again against them this year. I think they're bottom 2 as far as a favorable matchup. I think they're second worst by the numbers to opposing tight ends, or third worst. There's probably some scoring formats where they are the worst. So yeah, Irv Smith, if you are between a couple of options at your tight end, consider Irv. Rojo, you got me beat on the all 22 film, but it's been on the to-do list for me. So it's okay. This is a fun thing to be addicted to, right? It could be worse. It could be something worse. That's what I always tell people. Yeah, I'm addicted, but I could be addicted to something worse. I'm going to say that at the FFA meeting. I don't even know why I need to be here. It's not even a bad addiction. I tell myself as I feverishly check my 38th best ball, see where I'm at in the standings. Jay Judah, Jacoby Myers or DK? What's your situation, Jay Judah? Because obviously you want to play DK Metcalf if you can. If you're desperate for a win, I don't know if it depends on your situation. Are you 2-5? Are you 3-4? Do you feel like you need to try to keep pace with your league mates? DK might be the way to go. If you think you can play it safe, then I probably fire up Jacoby Myers. DK Metcalf was originally pegged as potentially missing multiple weeks. He's going to give it a go today. You just have to worry about a potential injury re-aggravation. I don't like operating, when I'm making my start-sit decisions, I don't like operating on the concern that a guy gets injured unless the guy's already injured. And DK is currently banged up. He's hurt, right? He was originally supposed to miss multiple weeks. He's not, he's coming back the very next week. Shout out DK Metcalf for being a baller, for working through an injury, being there for his team. I'm only playing DK Metcalf if I feel like I need to take a shot and give me my ceiling play. And if he draws a 0 because he re-aggravates the injury and has to exit the game, I was maybe a long shot to win anyway. I might as well swing for the fences. That's the scenario I played DK Metcalf. Otherwise, I think I hate to do this because it's such a talent discrepancy. It's such a difference in talent. I think I go Myers. But it depends on your situation. Nebo, 7 months. Appreciate the support for all these months, man. Appreciate it. So it has been long. It has been longer than 7 months, but officially as a member, much appreciated. We love our members on this channel. You guys are awesome. You guys are basically an extension of us. Always talking shop. Always talking shop with the people, helping out, moderating those bots. Always coming in with good engagement. We appreciate our members very much. So thank you, Nemo. Thank you to all of our members for your continued support. You guys are, as John likes to say, you guys are helping to keep the lights on over here. That's awesome. Okay, John, as far the Campbell versus Renfro question, Jefferson, waiver wire, Goodwin, or Traquan Smith. Okay. I guess I go Renfro, John. I don't feel great about it. You're kind of just hoping he gets 50 yards, right? You're hoping he's getting to 50 yards receiving. Man, Jerry Judy's popping off. Whoops. I blew that one. He's up to 5 for 58 and a touch. Well, he might need to be in my lineup moving forward, no matter what. I can't. Oh, man. I blew it, you guys. I fucked up. Anyway, yeah, John, I'll stick with Renfro among all of those options and hoping for the best, but I don't know how much you can hope for. You're pretty much hoping that Waller is like still hobbled and Renfro needs to take his targets. Rojo, Garoppolo or Pickett this week? I don't want to play either one, but if I have to, I guess I'll go Pickett. Jimmy G he's down Deebo Samuel, and his recent games against the Rams in the regular season have been bad. I think he's, 2 touchdowns or fewer and not many passing yards in all of them. I think he had a good game in the NFC Championship game as far as statistics. But that was a playoff game, a little bit of different stakes, different scenario, and he had Deebo for that game. He doesn't have Deebo today. I know he has a full complement of. We expect a full complement of snaps for Christian McCaffrey, but against the Rams, it's hard to trust him. I guess it's hard to trust Pickett too. Ugh. Has Pickett given us any reason to want to fire him up? Not really. Not really. And actually, the Eagles are a brutal matchup. Rookie. Yeah. All right. Okay. I'll change course, Rojo. I guess it's Jimmy G because Kenny's a rookie in a terrible matchup against the Eagles. He's probably going to have to throw a lot, but that might not necessarily correlate to points scored. Oh, man. I don't think either are great options, but I guess Jimmy G. He doesn't have Deebo, but at least he has McCaffrey. He has Brandon Ayuk. He has George Kittle, and he's at least a veteran. Honestly, you're praying for 15 points in either scenario. So I guess go with the veteran. I don't feel great about it. And I'm happy we've established this FAA or FFA, excuse me. There's a judgment-free zone here in Fantasy Football Anonymous. What's up, Tim? Do you start Wan'Dale or Curtis Samuel? I think I would play Curtis Samuel. He did pretty well with Taylor Heineke last week. I'll go back to the well with Curtis, who has been consistently performing this year. Wan'Dale's very interesting, but let's give him one more week. And I guess I can't believe we're here, but I guess I'll start Curtis Samuel over Deontay Johnson. Do I really want to do that? Deontay is again, past 3 weeks for Deontay, 10 targets, 7 targets, 13 targets. The problem is it's turned into like 40 yards receiving, 30 yards receiving. I think he's got a 60-yard receiving game in there, but again, still that's a low-end play. Yeah. Deontay Tim is a floor play with not much upside. Samuel, I would say, has a little bit more upside, but maybe a less safe floor. Deontay floor, Samuel has a bit more of a ceiling. Depends on what you need. What's up, Iron? Good to see you. Rojo, Rodgers or Stafford this week? Oh, gross. I guess I don't trust Rodgers against the Bills. Down all of his wide receivers. I guess Stafford. At least he's getting Van Jefferson back. He has Cup. He's getting Van back. Maybe Robinson can do a little bit, boost his numbers a little bit. I guess Stafford. Rodgers is going against the Bills on the road. No Lazard, no Christian Watson, no Randall Cobb. He's down to Sammy Watkins and Romeo Doubs, and I don't feel good about that on the road against Buffalo. And the Packers aren't. Neither are playing well right now. I guess I'll go Stafford. I don't feel great about it. Sideline, appreciate that. Thank you so much for the kind words. We do what we can over here, and John is usually a big part of this stream as well. He's working through some technical issues. We are trying to get our streaming equipment up and running before the slate starts in a couple of hours. It sounds like he's still working through it. Not sure what's going on with our equipment, but he is diligently working through it. Hopefully we can get him back, or hopefully we can both get up and running before the slate starts. But appreciate that. The Saints, as far as going all in, I guess they really, did they identify Olave from the jump? Which they could have, or they just knew that one of those wide receivers was one that they wanted to take, and they were willing to roll the dice on whoever was going to be there. Looks like it worked out for them with Olave. They must have just been dead set on one of those wide receivers. Wanted to move up in the draft. That's got to be it. But they gave up a lot. First, they gave up their first this year and next year. They acquired 2 first-round picks this year. So they got Olave. They also got Penning. He looks like a pretty good player. Well, he's been hurt, but he looks like a pretty good prospect. So they decided to do the 2-for-1 this year at the expense of their first-round pick next year. Olave looks like a player. Penning looks like he's going to be a solid piece. But I promise you the Saints wish they had that first-round pick right now, because they are now out of it as far as trying to get a quarterback prospect next year. So, yeah. Ern De Hoyos, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Waller or Hill? I don't trust Waller, Ern. I don't trust Waller. What's the latest? And by the way, within the next 30 minutes, we will start getting injury updates as we trickle in. We'll get some actives and inactives. Waller is still on the injury report, questionable with the hamstring injury. Limited participant in practice all week. He didn't get a full session in. I don't trust Waller. Ern, let's keep an eye. So I just mentioned, actives and inactives are about to start rolling in here within the next about 25 minutes or so at 11:30 Eastern. That's when we're going to start getting the actives and inactives. Let's see, as it pertains to Taysom Hill, are the other tight ends on the roster ruled out? Is Juwan Johnson ruled out? He's questionable. Is Adam Troutman ruled out? He's questionable. If one or both are ruled out, then I feel better about firing up Hill. Not that those guys block Taysom Hill anyway, if the Saints plan to utilize him, but you probably have to feel pretty good about his usage in that event that both of the other tight ends are out. So let's keep an eye, Ern, on the injury report. If Troutman and Juwan Johnson are both active, I might be a little more inclined to say go Waller, but if either one of them are ruled out, I might just say fire up Hill. It's hard. I don't. It's hard to trust Waller right now. Still dealing with a hamstring injury that he's been dealing with since the offseason. It's hard to trust Waller. It's hard to trust him. Yeah, good vibes all around, everybody. Are we playing the Panthers, the Falcons, or the Dolphins defense? I'm not playing the Dolphins on the road against the Lions. Is Washington available, Nemo? I assume maybe the Jets are not available. I don't want to play the Panthers or the Falcons either. They're two not good teams. I guess I would slightly prefer the Panthers. I think their defensive personnel is a little better than Atlanta's, but they're on the road. So I don't feel as good about them. And the Dolphins on the road against Detroit, the Lions play much better at home. I don't feel good about the Dolphins. Is Washington available? Hell, are the Colts available? Is Indianapolis available? I would pivot off of any of those three options. Ryan Mahoney, should you flex Deontay Johnson or Darrell Henderson in full PPR? I would probably go with the running back here. Deontay's tough right now, right? He's getting the targets, but it's not translating into production because it's a bad Steelers offense, and they're going up against the Eagles, who have two great cornerbacks on the outside. Deontay might have a tough go of it today. Henderson's got a tough matchup in his own right against San Francisco, but at least he's the dude for that backfield. I think I would go Henderson, Ryan. You kind of just got to grit your teeth. It could be 13 carries for 45 yards, but he falls into the end zone. They don't run the ball very well in LA. The Rams don't. But at least Henderson gets all the work. I'll say Henderson. He should be fine. He should be safe enough. Deontay's a little bit more volatile. The Steelers and Eagles, Rojo, I know this just from being an Eagles fan. If the game is in Pittsburgh, the Steelers win. If the game is in Philly, the Eagles win. Like, dating back years, that's how it's been. They only play right every so often because they're different conferences, but when the Eagles play the Steelers in Philly, the Eagles win the game. When the Steelers play the Eagles in Pittsburgh, the Steelers win the game. That's what it's always been. So, yeah, Eagles are getting that W today. I agree, Nemo, that McVay doesn't seem to like Henderson, but he has no choice right now. He can't. He has no. I mean, who else does he turn into? Kyron Williams is not being activated today. Like, no Kyron Williams. It's just Malcolm Brown, I think, backing up Darrell Henderson. I'll go Henderson. I'll go Henderson. Yeah. Pickett might throw 50 times, but it might be for 190 yards. A touchdown and an interception or something like that. Yeah, it's tough between Pickett and Jimmy G, Rojo. I guess in that situation, I would lean the veteran. Just looking at Pickett's numbers, it's like there's no reason to feel good about firing him up against an Eagles defense that is well rested coming off the bye week and playing well in general. Mo Diesel wants to know if you're winning the chip right now. Carr, ETN, Walker, Evans, AJ Brown, Goddard, Chubb, some really good bench pieces. Yeah, man. I mean, quarterback is a little shaky, but you've got really good pieces at running back. Chubb, ETN, Walker, nicely done. You got a couple wide receiver ones in Evans and AJ Brown. And if Sutton can ever get back on track with Russell Wilson, then you're in good shape there. You're hoping Cooks gets traded, right? You're hoping Cooks gets traded to a contender, a little bit more of a consistent offense that he ends up in, hopefully. But yeah, you're looking good, man. Goddard's been perfectly fine at tight end, and now he's past his bye week, so you can just kind of roll with him for the rest of the year. Yeah, you're looking good, Mo Diesel. Nicely done. As far as Carr or Cousins, the Raiders are on the road today. I think. Where are they? Are they on the or are where are the Raiders today? Yeah, they're on the road in New Orleans. I think I would play Cousins at home, Mo. He just feels a little safer, and it's a good matchup by the numbers. At home, Cousins plays well. It's on the road where you have to be worried about with Cousins, but when Cousins is at home, he plays well. Coming off the bye, Arizona's given up pretty good production to quarterbacks for fantasy purposes. At home, 1:00 game, right? Kirk Cousins loves his 1:00 games. I would go Cousins, Mo. I would go Cousins over Carr. And Carr might not have Waller, right? Waller's still in the injury report. He could be in and out of the lineup. Cousins has his full complement of weapons. Cousins. Bro, you traded a couple fourths for Tony? That's a damn good roll of the dice now. You're feeling great about that. I know he hasn't done much to this point, but he's a former first-round pick. You traded some throwaways to take a chance on a guy who has flashed some talent. Might as well. Nicely done. Ethan Holbrook. What's up, Ethan? Lockett or Pittman? Now, this is a scenario where I guess I would go Pittman, only because Pittman plays, and actually, you'll know this. I forgot. The Colts don't play until later. They play the 1:00. They play they play in the 4:00 window. Oh, man. What did Lockett do all this week? Did he practice this week? Ribs designation, hamstring was the main concern. But Lockett had a full practice on Thursday. Had something tacked on to the practice report on Friday. So that's a little bit of a concern. Little bit of a concern. I guess, Ethan, this is my situation. If you are in a good spot, if you're sitting pretty, maybe like record-wise, or you just feel good about this matchup, I would play Pittman. If you think you need upside, if you think you need, if you need a swing for the fences, all or nothing, you're hoping for a guy to catch a 40-yard bomb, like that's Lockett. If you think you can get away with the floor play with some uncertainty with Pittman because of the Sam Ehlinger situation, then okay. If you think you need some upside, if Lockett is ruled active, which sounds like he's expected to play, then I would go Lockett. If you think you need upside. If you think you can play it safe, I guess I'll go Pittman. But just be aware with the Ehlinger situation. It's a little tougher to trust him, at least for this week. Sleepy refresh. Garrett Wilson, Brian Robinson, David Montgomery, Drake London, or Wandale. Pick 2. Brian Robinson and Montgomery. Those are your boring floor plays that should probably be able to deliver. I get the appeal of Garrett Wilson. No Corey Davis, and Elijah Moore has been invisible this entire year. Wilson has been so quiet though recently. It's hard to trust. It's hard to trust Garrett Wilson. I don't trust Drake London because the Falcons are just not throwing the football. Wandale is interesting. There's definitely a case to be made for Wandale here if you need some upside. If you think you need some upside, Wandale could be a sneaky play. It's just he hasn't been. I mean, he's had 2 good weeks the past couple weeks. Can he do it 3 weeks in a row? I think if you can play it safe, Sleepy, I would go Brian Robinson and Montgomery. If you're looking at your situation and you're like, I'm an underdog and I might as well swing for the fences, then maybe pull Montgomery for Wandale Robinson. Montgomery's in the tougher matchup. And I mean, both Brian and Montgomery are in committees. Neither offense is particularly impressive. I guess you could sit Brian too if you want to roll the dice on Montgomery, who's a little bit more proven. I would play those running backs as floor plays, Sleepy. If you think you need some upside, then you can pivot to Wandale. But Wandale's floor is lower than the running backs. So if you think you can get away with some floor plays, they've got touchdown upside. Both Robinson and Montgomery have some touchdown upside. But if you think you can get away with some floor plays, I would play the running backs. There you go. Iron, non-PPR between Irv Smith, Freiermuth, Tunyon, and Gesicki. I like Irv personally this week, again, just because of the matchup. The Cardinals stink against tight ends. That's it. Irv hasn't given you a ton of reason this year to believe in him, but this is a week to believe in him. It's a smash spot against a bad Cardinals defense that is bad. They're terrible against opposing tight ends. And at home, I feel good about his chances. Tunyon should see as much work as he can handle with the Packers down all of their pass catchers. No Christian Watson, no Randall Cobb, no Allen Lazard. Tunyon might see 10, 12 targets. Could be for 40, 45 yards receiving in a brutal matchup, but Tunyon is a volume-based floor play. Irv Smith is the ceiling play. Freiermuth is probably a safe play as well, but that's also a tough matchup. I think I'm playing the numbers here, Iron. I'm just looking to get a touchdown. I think Irv Smith can give you that, especially in standard scoring for tight ends. I'm just looking for a guy to score a touchdown. I'll roll the dice on Irv in a spectacular matchup. Nemo, you're not a trade whore. You're just aggressive. Fabian, what's going on? Start one, Dubs or London? Ugh. Dubs, I guess. I don't feel good about either one, but the problem with London is the Falcons don't throw the ball. They'll throw the ball 15 times, maybe 20 times, maybe. They don't throw the football. I'll play Dubs. At least he's got a wide open opportunity here. At least he's got a wide open opportunity. But I don't feel great about it. Yeah, agreed. Dubs, I guess. If you lean Dubs, play Dubs. CXK, what's up, CXK? Can only start one. Metcalf, London, Wilson, Dubs. So this is easy for me, CXK. If Metcalf is active, I'm just going to play DK. Of this group, I'm just going to play DK. But if he's ruled out, Dubs is playing on Sunday night, and you can pivot to Dubs. Metcalf is in the late window. Dubs is in the Sunday night game. I'm not playing London. I'm not playing Garrett Wilson. I don't trust either one of them right now. Bad situations. I'm playing Metcalf if he's active. If he's surprisingly ruled out, I'll go to Dubs. Yeah. Z Smitty. Start Pickens, Garrett Wilson, or Wandale. I'm going Pickens. He's the only dude in Pittsburgh's offense you can trust right now, and he's putting up the numbers. They're going to have to throw a lot today. It's a bad matchup, but Pickens is delivering. With Kenny Pickett, when Kenny Pickett plays quarterback for the Steelers, Pickens delivers. I'm going Pickens. Wilson, I don't trust, and it's not totally his fault. It's not a good passing offense right now with the Jets. And I know Corey Davis is out, but Wilson hasn't given us a whole lot of reason to believe these past few weeks. I need to see another good week before I go back to him. And Wandale has had a couple nice games in a row here. Let's see if he can do it 3 times in a row before we fire him up over a guy like Pickens, who has been delivering. Pickens. Fabian, if Waller misses, I would just play Moreau over Hunter Henry. Henry had I think he had one usable week, right? I think he had one usable week. What I want to know is, why is ESPN's website just not working right now? Just trying to pull the Gamecast up. That's all. Let's see. I'm looking up. Oh, that's right. I'm looking up Hunter Henry. I think he had one usable week. Yeah, against Cleveland, who they stink. Yeah, play Moreau, Fabian. If you have to be between Moreau and Hunter Henry, I'll just play Moreau. I would honestly just play Moreau. He didn't do well last week, but he's been kind of reliable over the course of his career when Waller misses. Hunter Henry is not reliable this year at all. Outside of Jacoby Myers, nobody in that Patriots offense is consistently reliable. Yeah, I would just play Moreau. Yep. Chris Flores, flex Olave or Eno, or Ayuk with Debo out. I'm going Olave. No Michael Thomas, no Jarvis Landry. The dude's getting anywhere from 10 to 15 targets a game. Andy Dalton seems to really like throwing him the ball. Nothing scary about the matchup against the Raiders. I'm going Olave. I know Ayuk has been delivering, and he should probably see a few extra looks this week with Debo out. But against the Rams, Jimmy G hasn't been that good recently against them. Ayuk might see Jalen Ramsey with no Debo, so it's a tougher matchup. Ayuk should come through with a little bit of volume, but Olave, we know, is getting the volume as the bona fide clear-cut wide receiver one for the Saints, and there's nothing scary about the Raiders matchup. I'm going Olave. And then as far as Eno, I don't want to totally rule out Eno. He had a really strong week on Thursday night last week, but it's a tougher matchup by the numbers, and just you can go look. It's a small sample size, but Eno hasn't been as good on the road. Cardinals are on the road today. Eno hasn't been as good on the road as he has been at home. Olave, Chris. Cam Cummings, Algier, or Brian Robinson? In standard, Algier, I guess. I don't know if I feel good about either one. There's nothing too scary about the matchup for Algier against the Panthers, but he's only got like a couple usable weeks. Now, one was last week, and he's getting work. Algier is 13 past few weeks, 16 carries last week, 15 carries the week before, 13 carries the week before that. Meanwhile, Brian Robinson. Neither of these guys are very easy to trust right now, to be completely honest. But Robinson 22 touches last week, 17 the week before. I guess a slight edge to Robinson. The team seems to really like him. The team seems to get him involved. The Falcons, Algier is their starter, and they run the ball a ton, but they mix in multiple dudes. They mix in Huntley. Who's the other guy in that backfield that they mix in? I'll go slight edge to Brian Robinson, Cam, although it's kind of close. Both are kind of boring low RB2 plays. I guess I'll go Robinson. The Colts defense is not playing well right now. Bub the GOAT. What's up, Bub? Geno or Dak this week? I think I'm rolling the dice on Dak. Geno's been better, but DK is on the injury report and Tyler Lockett is on the injury report. If you're not worried about that, like DK is expected to play, Lockett's expected to play. If you personally are like, I don't care, I'm not worried about those injuries, then fire up Geno. But there's enough concern as far as DK, like, can he make it through the full game? Again, DK was originally reported as potentially missing multiple weeks, and now he's planning to suit up today, not missing a game. So it's a little concerning. If you're worried about that, I would roll the dice on Dak. Otherwise, if you're not worried about the injuries, then Geno, but I'm a little worried about his wide receiver injuries. If that makes sense. Twin Network, what's going on? Appreciate the kind words. You're playing your identical twin brother. Oh, all right. Should you start Dalton or Malik Willis? I'm swinging for the fences. I would ride with Malik Willis. He's going to run. It might be gross. He might throw for 150 yards, but he's going to run around. Who are the Titans play? Aren't they playing Houston? I think I'm remembering that correctly. Yeah, he's playing Houston. It's not a great matchup by the numbers. Man, Willis is the fun upside play, Twin Network. Dalton's got a great matchup. Again, oh man, by the numbers, actually, the Raiders are like a gold mine. It's just, we have to remember last week, Dalton had a huge game because the Saints, the Cardinals got up big. The Saints were trailing throughout that game. And so Dalton was just desperation chucking, which resulted in a spectacular fantasy day. But does that get replicated? Are the Raiders able to you're rooting for the Raiders to get up against the Saints, get up a couple scores. Dalton has to throw all day. Dalton is safe. Twin Network. Dalton is safe, but safe means like 15 points. Malik Willis, I don't want to say 15 points is his absolute ceiling because I do think he'll run around a lot. Willis has a bit more upside, but a significantly lower floor. Dalton can give you the floor play. If you think you can get away with a somewhat safe floor play, then Dalton. If you need the upside, then you might as well just roll the dice with Willis. Depends on your situation in this matchup. But good luck. Hopefully you beat your brother. Iron, do you start Pollard over Najee? I would. No Zeke. I would. Pollard's the better player in that backfield right now. He's the more explosive player. Najee has given nothing other than low-end RB2 performances so far this entire season. Pollard has RB1 upside. Najee doesn't. That's it. So, yeah, I am starting Pollard over Najee. Z Smitty, Gesicki or Irv Smith? Irv. I think Gesicki's got a good matchup by the numbers, but Irv has a better one. At home against the Cardinals. Gesicki's on the road. I'm going to roll the dice with Irv Smith. They're both in good situations. Gesicki's been a little more, has had a couple more usable weeks this year than Irv. And he delivered big time in a good matchup against these Vikings. 6 for 69. Nice. And 2 touchdowns. He's in a great matchup again today. So you feel good about that. Irv, on the other hand, has it's not been great for Irv. He had a decent game week 2, 5 for 36 and a touchdown. The week before the bye, 4 catches, only 7 yards, but 1 was a touchdown. So that's what you're hoping for. I personally like rolling the dice on Irv today, just because that's how bad the Cardinals are against opposing tight ends. Bub, Edmonds or Damian Harris? I guess I'll play Edmonds. I agree. It's gross, right? It feels gross, but at least Edmonds is in a spectacular matchup by the numbers, and it could be a shootout in Detroit. Damian Harris is the clear second fiddle to Ramondre Stevenson. The Jets are not giving up much to opposing running backs. I don't feel good about the Patriots' offense at all outside of Ramondre Stevenson. Edmonds, just roll the dice on the good matchup. Tim, Dubs or Deontay? This is a talent tier break for me. You just got to roll the dice on Deontay. You got to roll the dice on Deontay. Jacob Sodini, DJ Moore or Michael Pittman? Ugh. AJ Terrell is out for the Falcons today, right? I mean, that's important to note. I think AJ Terrell is inactive today. Just looking this up, double checking. Yeah, he's out versus the Panthers. So DJ Moore gets a big break. So it depends. It depends, Jacob, on your risk tolerance. It depends on your risk tolerance, Jacob. Do you trust Michael Pittman, who is the much safer option than DJ Moore, but with Sam Ehlinger in at quarterback over Matt Ryan, making his first career start? Nothing scary about the matchup, but it's his first career start. So that's the concern. If you like, Pittman is probably playing a little safe, maybe a safer floor, maybe not as good of a ceiling. DJ Moore had, sprung back to life last week, right? Caught his first touchdown. PJ Walker got him involved, and the Falcons are down their top defensive back. So DJ Moore gets a huge break. Moore's floor is lower than Pittman's, but it's fair to argue that his ceiling is higher today. So if you can get away with a floor play, and it might be an 8 or 10 point floor play. Again, Pittman catching passes from Sam Ehlinger for the first time. Pittman, if you think you need upside and you're willing to roll with a floor of 4 or 5 points, then DJ Moore. It depends on your risk tolerance here, Jacob. Both are a little shaky for different reasons. Pittman might be a bit safer. DJ probably has a little bit more upside. And Jay Judah, if you're 5-2 and sitting pretty, yeah, let's not mess around. Even if you and I don't want to, even if you fall to 5-3, you're fine, right? You're good. You're still 2 games over 500. You get another shot next week to, with a little bit more clarity on DK Metcalf's situation. I think you're fine rolling the dice on Myers and playing it safe. Will, what's going on? Coming in, causing trouble right from the jump. And it, what's Dulcich even doing today? I'm not watching this game. Let's pull up the game cast. Oh, wow. He's got 4 for 87. All right. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good. Oh, Melvin Gordon got a touchdown. Good for Melvin Gordon. I still don't trust the Broncos backfield. Still don't trust the Broncos backfield. But Gordon got a touchdown. Nicely done. Chris, no problem. Well, I'm probably chilling here today. It's been it was a late night last night, and I'm exhausted. We'll see. We'll see if I get any second life. I don't know. 27 of we've entered 27. I don't know, Nemo, of straight football. I don't know what that means. Fantasy Football Anonymous, everybody's welcome. And we've officially crossed over into the 11:30 window. We're going to start getting actives and inactives rolling in soon. I'm sure I'll see some updates on Sleeper at some point. We'll see. Yeah, Dulcich is looking good. Speaking of young tight ends looking good, Isaiah Likely, it looks great as well right now. He has a role moving forward. Got his feet in bounds nicely on that touchdown catch on Thursday night. Played very well in Mark Andrews' absence. That guy needs to be involved in that offense moving forward, just in general. King Marcelo, Josh Reynolds, Drake London, or Paris Campbell. Ugh. I guess Reynolds. At least he's at home. I know he has been very quiet the past couple of weeks. It's just I don't trust Drake London with the Falcons. The Falcons don't throw the football. You can't fire Drake London up anywhere right now. You just can't. It's a scheme issue. I mean, the past 3 weeks or the past 4 weeks, last week, 1 catch for 9 yards. Week before, 3 catches, 40 yards, 4 catches, 35 yards, 2 catches, 17 yards. They're not throwing the ball. Even in situations where it's obvious they should be throwing the ball, they're not throwing the ball. I can't play Drake London right now. Campbell has had a nice couple of weeks, but that was with Matt Ryan. Does he duplicate those numbers with Sam Ehlinger? I don't know. I guess I go Reynolds. It's a great matchup. He's at home. I know he sputtered last week, but that was in a tough spot on the road against the Cowboys. Josh Reynolds at home, great matchup. He's played well at home this year. Reynolds, King Marcello. I don't trust London. And Campbell, I'm taking a wait and see approach with the new quarterback. Jimmy G Holiday, Malik Willis, Dalton, or Ellinger. Okay. So we got this question earlier, or somebody else asked this question. It was between Dalton or Malik Willis. I'll say the same thing. So Ellinger, I don't trust today. I know he's got similar upside. I guess he's got similar upside as Malik Willis, and he's got slightly better weapons. But I think Malik Willis can run a little better than Ellinger can, and Willis has a better offensive line. Willis is your upside play if you think you need it. But Jimmy, his floor is very low. Malik Willis's floor is incredibly low. His ceiling is, if you need the upside, then sure. If you think you can play it safe, Dalton has as good of a matchup as you could ask for. The Raiders are, I think, the worst as far as points given up to opposing quarterbacks for fantasy purposes. The Raiders are getting gashed by opposing quarterbacks. Dalton is a perfectly safe play. Willis, if you're like, I'm a big underdog and I'm swinging for the fences, then Willis. If you think you can play it safe, then maybe just go with Dalton. Willis has a floor of very low. Willis has a floor of under 10 points. But he can run, so that makes him an intriguing upside play if you think you need the upside. Nemo, that is just the pain of playing fantasy football. There we go. Darren Waller has been ruled out. There you go. Darren Waller's status changed to out. The Raiders will not have their top tight end today. Foster Moreau is on the streaming radar. If you need him, Darren Waller out for the Raiders today. That is confirmed. Yeah, I mean, I have Jerry Jeudy on a bench somewhere. I pulled him at the last second. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. I was worried about the trade rumors, and I overthought it. Overthought the situation. Silas Ratliff, Eno or Foreman? Oh man, that's tough. That's tough. Both should be solid today. Zeke is officially inactive. We knew that. Adam Troutman is out. That's not that that's a significant bump for Taysom Hill, but Troutman is an every snap player for the Saints, so Taysom Hill gets a nice little bump. Devontae Adams, Dalton Schultz are both active as expected. What's Jawan Johnson's status? Jawan Johnson is active. That's interesting. That's interesting. Jawan Johnson's an interesting streamer today. As far as Eno versus Foreman, both should have opportunities to themselves in this backfield. No Chuba Hubbard for Carolina. Obviously, no James Conner for Arizona. Foreman delivered in a bad matchup last week. 15 for 118 yards against Tampa. Goes on the road against Atlanta. Meanwhile, Eno had a big week on Thursday night against the Saints. Then he goes on the road to Minnesota. Both guys are on the road. Both guys got good work last week. I think I give a slight nod to Eno Silas because I think he's a slightly greater threat to catch some passes, and in full PPR, that's obviously a little bit more enticing. Both are really good options. Both should have some really solid floors today. I guess I'll suggest Eno just because he might catch a couple extra passes, and in full PPR, that's that could be all the difference. Garth Murray, Dalton, Mac Jones, or Ellinger in Superflex. I'll go Dalton of these options just because it's a great matchup. I don't feel great about it, but Mac Jones can't be trusted, and Ellinger's making his first career start. And I don't, yes, he'll run, but that's a bad Colts offensive line. Like I'm absolutely and Ellinger was like a 6th round pick. At least Malik Willis. There was a question earlier about Ellinger versus Malik Willis. At least Malik Willis, he fell to the 3rd round, but he had some intrigue and some upside coming into the draft. I think he's maybe a little bit more of a talented prospect than Ellinger, at least right now today. So, Ellinger, I don't think can be trusted in his first career start behind that offensive line. I would just go Dalton. Of those options, I would go Dalton. Landon Marquette, man, trade Olave for Amon-Ra. You could. Olave's killing it, though. And Olave's got less competition right now for work. Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry, aren't they both missing like their 5th straight games? Like, is there optimism for either one of them to return anytime soon? And even if they do, does it matter? Amon-Ra's awesome, but he does have DeAndre Swift to contend with, TJ Hawkinson to contend with. Both are wide receiver 1s. That's just personal preference, I would say. If you want to make the trade, that's fine. Amon-Ra is that dude, but Olave is on fire right now. I almost think you could maybe ask if you can maybe sneak a depth running back out of that trade. Probably not. Let's be real. Probably not. But Olave is absolutely on fire right now. It's hard to want to move him. Damon Loose, Dak, or Carr, full PPR. I don't feel great about either one. Carr is down his top tight end. He's down Waller. Dak is down Zeke. Carr is down Waller. I'll say Carr, Damon, just because Dak could be in a similar situation as last week. It's another match. The Bears had a good night Monday night against the Patriots. I think they got like 33 points on offense. I don't know if they can replicate that in another road game against a good Cowboys defense, which means Dak might not need to do as much. Meanwhile, Carr on the road against the Saints might have to throw it a little extra. I'll say Carr, Damon. And yeah, Dulcich is looking pretty good. As far as Foreman or Miles Sanders, I'm playing Miles Sanders. He's an RB1 on the season. Well, maybe not anymore because he was on bye last week, but going into the Eagles bye week last week, Miles Sanders was an RB1 on the season. I'm rocking with that. As far as your pick 2, London, Pickens, Slayton, Samuel, Hollins, or Elijah Moore, Pickens and Samuel. Kind of easily. I don't trust London. I feel like I'm writing Slayton off. Slayton's been actually kind of consistent for the Giants recently, but he has been kind of boom bust for his career. I don't know if I trust that over Pickens and Samuel. Pickens is delivering. He's the only guy in Pittsburgh's offense you can trust right now. And Samuel delivered a solid performance last week with Taylor Heineke in there. So I would go back to the well. Let me just double check that I'm not remembering something incorrectly, but I'm pretty sure Samuel did fine last week with in Taylor Heineke's first start. Yeah, he did. 5 carries for 26 yards, 5 catches for 53. Yep. Damon, I'm Pickens and Samuel with somewhat ease. Tom Mulville, Jawan Johnson or Goddard? You got to go Goddard. Jawan Johnson's an interesting stream today, but I'm not over a guy who has been a tight end 1. You got to play Goddard. As far as Thornton or Jefferson, who else is out there? Who else is out there? I don't trust either one. Victor Sosa, PJ Walker, Willis, or Rogers? Not Rogers. That's for damn sure. Oh, geez. Willis is enticing. He's intriguing. He's probably got a lower floor than PJ Walker. What did Walker do last week against the Bucks? And it's a good matchup by the numbers for Walker, actually. 177 passing yards and 2 scores. Did he run at all? No, PJ Walker's not a threat to run. Walker's not a threat to run, Victor. So he's a boring floor play that might be good enough to get it done. If you think you need upside, if you're looking at your situation, a 20-man league, kudos on playing on a challenging league, by the way. That's cool. If you think you need upside and can risk eating a bad floor game at the expense of swinging for the fences, then Malik Willis. If you think you can get away with a boring floor play, then PJ Walker. Walker floor, Willis upside. But Willis's floor is under 10 points. Damon, I'm going Amon-Ra over DJ Moore. Let's see DJ do it twice in a row before we put him over Amon-Ra. As far as your flex, I would probably just play. Oh God, flip a coin, to be honest. I would probably play Swift because of his upside as a pass catcher, as a dual threat. Ramondre is a dual threat as well, but Swift is a little bit more explosive. That's tough. I'll go Swift in a good matchup. Ramondre, I like Ramondre a lot. He's an RB1 on the year, but between 3 great options, Ramondre's in a tough matchup. Pierce, I think, and by the numbers, is a bit tougher of a matchup. I would just go with Swift. Yeah, Tom, who else is out there? Oh, you threw, okay. Deontay, Van, Goddard, okay. Yeah, I guess if you have to choose between one of these two, I guess I'll roll the dice on Van, I guess. I don't feel great about it. Thornton fired. Remember, Thornton had a good game with Bailey Zappi. I don't think Thornton's done anything yet with Mac Jones as his quarterback. So I guess I'll go Van. I'll roll the dice on the upside of a 40-yard catch. I'll go Van. Calvo, what's up, Calvo? Sit one. Pickens, Wandale, A-Rob. Pickens, you're playing. And then it's a risk tolerance thing. Robinson, before the bye week, had a good game. But Van Jefferson is back and could take some touches away or some looks away from him. Man. Just so, Calvo, Robinson, just for whatever this is worth, the Rams played the 49ers in week 4, their matchup today. In that game, Robinson had 2 catches for 7 yards. I think I'm rolling the dice on Wandale, Calvo. The team is officially free of Kadarius Toney. That situation is resolved for the Giants. Like, they can move forward. Toney can move forward as well, but they can move forward with Wandale as their slot guy. Robinson fell flat in this matchup not too long ago, just a few weeks ago. And outside of a couple of weeks has been unusable. So Robinson is too volatile to trust right now. Pickens and Wandale, Sid Allen Robinson. Yeah. That's where we're at. Evan, Chris Olave or Raheem Mostert. Mostert's in a great matchup, but I'm going Olave, man. Olave looks awesome. He's getting 12, 14 targets a game. Nothing scary about the matchup at home against the Raiders. On 10 days rest. Remember, the Saints played the short week Thursday night, week 7, so they got a few extra days rest. I mean, Olave, the past few games, he's been money. 14 targets last week. He missed week 6 due to a concussion, but week 5, 4 catches, 54 yards, and a touchdown. Would have had more, but that was the game that he exited due to the concussion. The week prior on 7 targets, 4 for 67 and a touchdown. Then weeks 2 and 3, 26 combined targets, No Michael Thomas, no Jarvis Landry. I'm Olave. I'm firing up Olave. Guy is money. Bob Jimmy, do you start Pickens over Deontay and Brandon Cooks in full PPR? I would. Cooks popped up on the injury report with like a wrist injury. This could mean that he's the subject of trade rumors. Does he play a lot today? I don't know. Not sure I want to roll the dice on that. I say go I say go Pickens over Deontay and Brandon Cooks. And Deontay's getting the looks, but it's not translating in the box score. Pickens has been out producing all the Steelers wide receivers. I'll go Pickens. Pickens over Deontay. Yep. Fortune West, what's going on? Fortune's been a member for 2 months. Appreciate the channel support. Good to see you coming in. Wandale or Deontay, wide receiver 3. Oof. This is this is tough. This is the cutoff, but also like this is where we're at with Deontay Johnson. I think I'm going back to the well one more week with Deontay. I think. At the very least, you can lean on the fact that Deontay has seen 10, 7, and 13 targets his past 3 games played. It hasn't translated in the box score, but damn, between him and Wandale Robinson, I think I just want to go with the proven player. It could be gross for Pittsburgh today. But they might have to throw it 40, 45 times. Could mean 200 passing yards for Kenny Pickett, but at least the opportunities, I think, will be there. They'll be there for Wandale as well, but again, Wandale has had 2 good games back-to-back. Good for Wandale. Deontay's a proven player. I think you got to go Deontay and just continue to hope for 10 targets. Hope it translates into 60 to 70 yards. If he scores, great. I think I got to go Deontay here. That's the cutoff. I'll take the talent level tier break for Deontay. I like Wandale. But when it's between Wandale and Deontay Johnson, let's see Wandale do it 3 weeks in a row before we put him in there over Deontay. You know? It's not like the most confident that I feel about it, but I believe in Deontay Johnson. Thanks for the question, Fortune. Thanks for being a member for 2 months now. Appreciate the channel support. We love our members. You guys help us keep the lights on over here. Let's see. Where are we at? Luis Acosta, Lockett or Algier at the flex? I'm rolling the dice on Lockett. I know he's on the injury report. He practiced in full on Thursday. He's expected to play today. Algier has only given you a couple of usable weeks so far this year. The Falcons, they're going to run a lot. They always do. So that's enticing for Algier, but they mix in other guys. And if DK is in any way hobbled, Lockett is going to see extra looks. I'll go with a guy who's got, it's boom bust, but Lockett's got high wide receiver 2 upside. I'll go Lockett, Luis. Bob Jimmy, this is Singletary or Najee Harris. Man, Najee is a low-end RB2 play if you think you can get away with it. If you think you can get away with 10 points from your RB2, or he's maybe your RB1, I don't know. If you think you can get away with 10 points, then Najee. Otherwise, I'm playing Singletary. There's not a whole lot to feel good about in the Steelers' offense right now, especially with Najee Harris. That offensive line is bad. He's had no ceiling games. Najee's been consistent for you, but it's been consistent RB2 flex production. There hasn't been any wide receiver or running back 1 production from him. I would say if you think you can get away with a low-end RB2 performance from Najee with downside because of the matchup, then fine. Otherwise, I'd go Singletary. That's where we're at. It's hard to trust the Steelers right now. Tom, of those options, I'm going Deontay and Goddard. Deontay is just it's a track record thing, proven player, still getting the targets, and then Goddard's a tight end one. Van first game back, let's wait a week. Thornton, I haven't seen him do anything with Mac Jones. He's on the bench. Sauce is on Myers. I don't know if I trust this Patriots offense as a whole right now. It's not a good matchup in general. Deontay and Goddard for me. Calvo, no problem. Happy to help. Damon Luce, Wandale, Damian Harris, Jeff Wilson, or London. I'll go Wandale here. Harris, bad matchup. Jeff Wilson, I can't be trusted. Bad matchup. And McCaffrey is now, this is his second week there. London, the Falcons don't throw the ball. I'll go Wandale, Damon. I would throw Wandale in at the flex. Okay, got a few questions still here trickling in. Let's see. Where are we at? Lincoln was here. What's up, Lincoln? Who do you start? Thielen, DK, Pierce, Rondale, Moore. Yeah, you kind of answered your own question, I think. If you're worried about DK, play Adam Thielen. I would. They're at home. There's nothing scary about the matchup. Thielen is always has plenty of touchdown upside, right? He's a guy that they regularly use in the red zone. Thielen. Alec Pierce with a new quarterback. Let's wait a week. Rondale Moore had a down week last week. I'm not willing. That's a talent level thing as well for me with Thielen. If you're worried about DK, just play Adam Thielen. That's a perfectly fine pivot. Perfectly fine pivot. Garth Murray, half PPR, pick 1. Jacoby Myers, Curtis Samuel, Isaiah McKenzie, Hunter Renfrow. Curtis Samuel. Go Curtis Samuel. He got involved in the backfield last week. He got 5 carries. He caught 5 passes. Samuel remains involved. Myers is probably going to see Sauce Gardner. No, thank you. McKenzie, he might get a touchdown. He might get all of his snaps taken by Khalil Shakir. I don't know. And then Renfrow gets a little bit of a boost without Waller. He's a little bit more enticing. But Renfro's been a risky floor play this year. He hasn't been what he was last year. It's hard to trust him, especially with Devontae Adams active. Samuel. Tom, that's nuts. I mean, you probably should trade Jalen Hurts for a haul. You have to play Josh Allen. You have the QB1 and the QB2. If it's one quarterback, you should be looking to trade Jalen Hurts. You got to play Josh Allen. Lincoln made a trade. Dynasty tight end premium. Traded Andrews and CMC for Jefferson and Ertz. You have Kelsey and Dulcich. Okay. I mean, I hope you have other good running backs. Because you didn't, it's fine getting Ertz, but you didn't need him because you already have Kelsey and Dulcich. And in Dynasty, Dulcich looks like a good investment. I don't know that you needed Ertz. I mean, Justin Jefferson is a stud. He's an anchor, but I hope that I guess I'm okay with it as long as your running backs are fine because you just traded 2 win now pieces in Andrews and McCaffrey. And I see your wide receivers were weak, so maybe that means your running backs are stout. Long term, it should be fine because Jefferson is the youngest and best player here. I hope you have the running back depth to absorb the McCaffrey loss. That's all. I would have probably preferred a depth running back in return instead of Ertz, again, because you have Kelsey and Dulcich. But you got Justin Jefferson. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. As far as do we trust DK today? If you're talking about guys like Wan'Dale Robinson and Jacoby Myers and Rondale Moore and Alec Pierce, then I'm rolling the dice on DK Metcalf. If you have any other proven player, then I'm probably pivoting to the proven player. That's where I'm at with DK. Jordan, should you trade Lockett for Dillon? Sure. You have Higgins, you have Jefferson, you have Amon-Ra, you have Waddle. Yeah, you don't need Lockett. Yeah, take some running back depth. I know Dillon hasn't fired, and he's probably not going to have a good game against the Bills tonight, but at least he's still valuable running back depth. Dillon still retains value because of his situation. In a worst case scenario, he's the best insurance policy of in any backfield, like over Alexander Madison. If anything happens to Aaron Jones, then you feel good about Dillon's top 15 prospects as far as fantasy finish any given week. Yeah. Yeah, I would do that deal, Jordan. Hell, Lockett's been producing and Dillon hasn't. You might be even able to even ask for a little extra. You might be able to ask for a little extra. If they don't go for it, fine, I would still take the deal, but Lockett has actually produced. Dillon hasn't recently. You might be able to ask for a little extra. Tom, I would not bench Goddard. Not over those guys. I mean, do your thing. It's your lineup. It's your team. Do what you want to do, obviously, always. I would not bench Goddard. Damon, don't start Stafford over Carr. No, Stafford has done nothing to prove we can trust him. Evan the Tiger, Ramondre Stevenson or Josh Jacobs? I hate that you have to make this decision, but Josh Jacobs, I think, is a top 3 running back on the season right now, and he's playing like it if he's not. I got to go Josh Jacobs. I can't sit Josh Jacobs. The argument for, I guess Ramondre's in a tough matchup. Ramondre's in a tough matchup by the numbers. He's been an RB1 on the year, but Jacobs is on absolute fire right now. I can't sit him. It sucks that you have to put one of those dudes on your bench, but I got to play Josh Jacobs. No good offers. That's okay. But you're from Philly. I'm also from Philly, Tom. I don't live in Philly at the moment. I live in LA. But go Birds. Go Birds. We're going to 7-0 today. Damon, as far as DK, I would plan to play DK, and if he's, if you're worried about him, then you can maybe pivot to McKenzie. But honestly, if these are your options, if DK is active, if DK is ruled active and the questionable tag is removed going into the game, I'll roll the dice. If those are your options, I'll roll the dice on DK and hope for the best. Roll the dice on DK and hope for the best. We are at the end of the chat with an hour left to go before kickoff. I think I'm going to shut this down. Unfortunately, I don't think John was able to get through our tech issues today. Hopefully he can take some time to knock that out and get everything all squared and running before our Tuesday stream. But TBD there. Really quickly, Mario CP, you have Chubb, Mixon, Walker, and Pollard. Damn, man. You're starting Chubb because you have to. I think you're starting Pollard with no Zeke. I don't want to sit any of these guys. Damn, Mario. You have some really good that's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have. You have to start Chubb. Out of respect for what he's done this year, you have to start Chubb. Mixon is getting regular, consistent work, and the Browns stink on defense. And no Jamar Chase. Mixon could see some extra work in the passing game. You're starting Chubb. You're starting Mixon. And you're starting Pollard? Yeah. I hate to do this because I friggin' love Kenneth Walker, but I think because of all these really good options, I think you're sitting Walker. You're probably going to have someone's going to have a good game on your bench. Let's put it that way. But that just means you have really good, this is a good problem to have. You're firing up Chubb. You're firing up Mixon. And I think with no Zeke against the Bears who stink against the run, I think you're firing up Pollard at home. I hate to do this, but I think you're sitting Walker, who is who could easily go for 150 and 2 scores. But honestly, all of these dudes can do that as well. I think you go Chubb, Mixon, Pollard. Admittedly, Mario, again, you're probably looking at a really good performance on your bench. But that's not a bad problem to have. You got 4 horses. Honestly, after this game, sell Pollard to the person who has Zeke for an anchor wide receiver. Actually, don't do that. Don't trade running back depth. Ignore that. Ignore that. Keep your backs. Keep your backs. But yeah, I'm Chubb, Mixon, Pollard. I'm like 70% confident about that just because Walker is so damn good in his own right. Chubb, Mixon, Pollard. Yeah. Yep. Again, I'll be shutting this down shortly, but as questions trickle in toward the end, I will make sure I get to them. Kavi, should you trade Higgins and Walker for Chubb? No. No. That's way too much. Chubb's having a great season, but Higgins is now his team's wide receiver 1 for a minimum of the next 3 weeks, and Walker's an RB1 in his own right. You're giving up too much. Keep your pieces. Keep Higgins, keep Walker. I like Chubb. You don't need him. Not for that. Not for that. Maybe Higgins straight up, but honestly, I would try to offer Pittman first. And that's probably not going to get it done. Pittman and Samuel? Pittman and Myers for Chubb? Sure. If the person's desperate for wide receiver help, maybe you can get away with that. Maybe you throw a depth running back in. I'm not trading Higgins and Walker. Maybe Pittman and Samuel? Something like that. It's probably not going to get it done, to be fair. It's probably not going to get it done, but I'm not trading Higgins and Walker. No shot. Lincoln, starting running backs are Kamara and Joe Mixon. Well, Zeke is out today. Zeke and Hubbard are out. So your decision is easy. Oh, sorry. This is the dynasty thing. Okay. So Zeke and Hubbard should be fine depth moving forward. Kamara and Mixon are good enough to get you through for the rest of the season. Yeah, I guess I'm not crazy about giving up McCaffrey. You got Justin Jefferson. If you're weak at wide receiver, you addressed that. That's good. I think the one thing I would have done differently, Lincoln, and you could still do this. Instead of Ertz, I would have asked for depth at running back because you have Kelsey and you have Dulcich. I would maybe see if you could, Lincoln, turn around and trade Ertz for some running back help. That's what I would do. And we're at the end of the chat. If there are any last minute questions after the stream, you can join our Discord. 3rd link in the description of this video. Evergreen invite. You don't have to be a member to join the Discord. Great community over there. Great group of people. A lot of people that are in this chat regularly are in there. You guys can talk through things with your fellow Facemask fam. Talk shop on your decisions, or if any other questions come in late, I will be around for the next 45 minutes or so in the Discord. Again, 3rd link in the description of this video. Feel free to join that up. And again, if you like what you see from this channel, you could consider. We would appreciate it, but obviously it's not required. We have membership opportunities and offerings. 1st link in the description of this video, and all of our videos gives you a breakdown of our perks, including a entry-level practice squad membership for 99 cents a month. You get 8 additional streams with us per month, 2 per week on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Those are members-only streams where you get a little bit more condensed attention with a smaller crowd, if you're interested. Just wanted to shout that out. But we are at the end. I will one more time, or one real quick. Brady, London, Algier, or Paris Campbell, or Mariota, or Willis. I'll roll the dice on Mariota because he can run. I'll just go with the Mariota Algier backfield. I think London I don't trust because the Falcons don't throw the ball. Paris Campbell, first game with Ellinger in there. Let's see how he does without Matt Ryan. I'm willing to wait a week, so I'll take Algier of that group, although I don't feel great about it. And then because you have Algier, I'll just say might as well fire up Mariota. It's not a stack, right? Quarterback to running back, but same backfield. Maybe they link up on a catch. Maybe Mariota throws it to Algier, turns it into something. You get a little double points on a play or two. I'll go Mariota and Algier. But thank you, everybody. Appreciate the engagement. Appreciate the conversation, the dialogue, the questions. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Let's all go win these matchups. And again, if you have any last-minute questions, join our Discord. Third link in the description of this video. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the football. Enjoy your Sunday. Let's go get these wins.